Hey everybody, James Yeager with Tactical Response. Thanks for watching. As many of you have probably heard by now, much of the nation's 911 emergency system, phone system, was down yesterday. Thousands of calls went unanswered. Now, there's very commonly times when the system's working correctly anyway, and people still don't get service fast enough. So I want you to consider some things, okay? Even if you're not a gun person, I want you to consider some things. I carry on my person, and I have in my home, and I have in my vehicle 2 trauma kits, one for inducing and one for relieving. Let's talk about the relief of the trauma. You should have real medical training and real trauma gear. I'm not saying you have to have a field surgery kit or field hospital or something like that, but you need to be able to put a tourniquet on, pack a wound, pressure bandage a wound, and make sure the person has an open airway. That's the stuff that you can do yourself. That's the stuff that even if 911 was working properly, you could use to save yourself or a family member's life. Fire extinguishers. I think you should have more and bigger fire extinguishers. Let's imagine that you had a kitchen fire that got a little too out of hand, and that little bitty fire extinguisher won't handle it. Get one of the bigger ones, one of the bigger ones, and fire extinguishers aren't cheap. That's a $100-something fire extinguisher, $125, $150 fire extinguisher. But I suggest that you have, guys talk about guns all the time. Let's talk about some real home defense. Fire extinguishers. Guys, I got guns all over my house. You'd be better served, probably, or at least as well as served, having fire extinguishers all over your house. My friend Clint Smith said, and when he said this to me, it was like a bolt of lightning hit me. You should have a big ass fire extinguisher in your bedroom, because you're probably going to come out of your bedroom and then see where the fire is. So things like that. So let's look at what we typically call the police for, or called 911 for. Okay, so it's usually 3 things. It's for guns, it's for band-aids, or it's for fire suppression. It's for the police, the medical personnel, or the fire personnel. I mean, I'm speaking broadly. Zoom out for just a minute. I'm not telling anybody here to buy a gun. Now, and I know most of the people that watch my videos are gun people, but there's sometimes these videos are forwarded to folks or something like that. And maybe a family member sent you this, said, hey, please watch this. I'm not telling you to buy a gun, but I'm telling you a gun is just like having a tourniquet or a fire extinguisher. Any day that you have to use that, any day that you have to use a tourniquet on yourself or somebody else, or pull that pin on that fire extinguisher to extinguish the fire in your home, or heaven forbid, use a firearm, those are horrible days. They are horrible, horrible, horrible days. But had you not had that option, it would have been worse. And so, just like with any of these 3 things, a firearm, medical gear, or a fire extinguisher, you should get some training. You should get some training. There's more to fighting a fire than just pulling a pin. If there's a few things about the science of fire, or the science of medicine, or the science of ballistic, there's a few things that just knowing a few of those things could multiply the possibility of success for your emergency. So, again, yesterday, I'm not making this up, as I filmed this video, yesterday there was a huge problem with the 911 system. I won't even go into a speculation on why, but there was a huge problem with our 911 system, and thousands and thousands of calls went unanswered. So I will ask you, as you look around at your family, your spouse, children, I have grandchildren, look around at them. If something happened and nobody was coming to help, what would you do? I sign off all my videos with the same thing, and I mean the same thing every time I say it. You're responsible for these people. You're responsible for yourself and for your family, and for strangers if you have the capacity to help them. This is James Yeager with Tactical Response, reminding you that your responsibility to be ready for the fight never ends.